Hello, Tashidale. I hope you have been doing very well. And in order to continue the teachings from the Jewel Ornament of Liberation by GAMPOPA, we are now studying the among the 6 main topics. We are now at the 4th topic, which is the method. And method is the instructions from our spiritual master. And these instructions are the real kind of path that we should walk upon, or these are the main kind of instruction that we need to follow in order to free ourselves from the suffering of samsara and to attain permanent, perfect enlightenment. And because of that reason, this chapter is the longest, is the most huge chapter. Within this topic, there are 16 different chapters, because instruction itself is the most important thing we need to study, contemplate, and practice. So therefore, we are trying to understand what are the instructions by our spiritual master. And to recall what we have learned from this topic, the 4th topic, we knew that why we are still in samsara and why we did not attain enlightenment, even though we do have this Buddha nature as a seed, primary cause. We may, in our previous lifetime, we may have achieved this perfect working basis, which is the precious human life. Or in this time, we have obtained this precious human life. We may have also encountered or attended spiritual master. We may have entered the gate of the Dharma and received many different teachings and instructions from different our spiritual masters. But then why are we still in samsara, and why we are not able to attain enlightenment yet? And the reason was that GAMPOPA mentions due to 4 different types of obstacles. Obstacle number 1 being too attached to this life's activity. Obstacle number 2 being too attached to the pleasure of samsara, not knowing that it is temporary. Obstacle number 3, not being attached to the attainment of nirvana or the peace. And finally, not knowing the method to cultivate the bodhicitta. So because of these 4 reasons, we couldn't able to attain enlightenment, and we couldn't able to free us from the suffering of samsara. So GAMPOPA wants us to know that these are the 4 different obstacles for us, and we need to dispel or purify all these different types of obstacles. So in order to do so, he also taught us 4 different types of antidotes. So 4 obstacles, 4 antidotes, which is very good. Otherwise, if we just know there's an obstacle only and we don't have solution, that will be very unfortunate. And so, but in this case, it's not like that. We do have options, we do have solution for that, and those are the 4 different type of antidotes or the instructions from the spiritual master. The first antidote to being too attached to this lifetime was the instructions on meditating on impermanence nature that we already studied a few days back. And second antidote is meditation on reflecting of the suffering or faults of samsara, and also to know the role of karma, cause, and effect. How does this karma, cause, and effect really works? And the 3rd type of instructions or antidote to the 3rd type of obstacle is the meditation or generating both loving kindness and compassion. And finally, the 4th type of antidote is the how to cultivate bodhicitta, how many different types of bodhicittas are there, and how we can apply those bodhicitta instructions, practices, and how we can attain bodhisattva bhumis and path. So there, by this, we will be able to free ourselves from the suffering of samsara, suffering of all these 3 different dhatus, kama dhatu, rupa dhatu, and arupa dhatu. And we'll be able to attain perfect and full enlightenment. So this is our goal, to achieve the perfect enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So to be continue with the second type of instruction, that is the meditation on reflection of suffering of samsara and how the karma cause and effect works. So as I mentioned yesterday, that there may be people who think that, okay, I understand impermanence, impermanence causes to death, but I don't worry so much. I can still take next birth as a human being or in a God realm, so I can still enjoy the facilities, enjoyment and happiness of these two realms. And then if someone thinks like that way, these are considered as being attached to the pleasure of samsara. So for this type of attitude, what we need to understand is that first, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to take rebirth in this human realm and God realm. Secondly, even though, for that you need to own the cause for that rebirth. And secondly, even though if you're able to reborn as a human being in your next life or as a God in God realm in next life, you are still not free from suffering of samsara, because those both beings in higher realms also have their own respective sufferings. So therefore, it's very important to acknowledge this, understand this. Okay, so GAMPOPA here try to demonstrate this chapter, the suffering of samsara, through three different types of suffering. The suffering of change, and the all-pervasive suffering. So suffering of suffering that refers to physically and mentally uncomfortable, ill, or discomfort of physical and mental. And suffering of change means that all the temporary happiness, our fame, wealth, property, relatives, friends, success in life are all subject to change. And it will lead us to suffering if we are attached to this. So that's what is known as suffering of change. And then the third type of suffering is all pervasive suffering. And that's there once you have these skandhas, 5 skandhas. As soon as you are born, as soon as you have these 5 aggregates, you are not free from suffering. Suffering is bound to become, and we are definitely not free from this suffering. So therefore, you need to understand all these 3 different types of suffering. And the reason why GAMPOPA wants us to study really well about the suffering of different types is that when you know these different types of sufferings are there, then you don't want to stay in samsara. Then you need to liberate yourself from the suffering of samsara. Our mind has been sleeping in this samsara for a very, very long time. Now it is time to wake up from this deep sleep of samsara's pain, and we need to be beneficial for ourselves, so that we'll be able to eliminate this suffering of samsara, and we'll be able to attain permanent happiness. That's what we need to do once you know that there's suffering. Otherwise, you'll be under delusion, and you don't know the reality of samsara. And then, because of that, you involve in creation of karma, formation of karma, and because of that, you'll be roaming in this cycle of existence. So to illustrate this, GAMPOPA talk about 3 different types of suffering. So far we have studied 2 sufferings, and tonight we'll be talking about the suffering of suffering. Okay, before we do so, let us join our palm together and do the refuge and generating bodhicitta prayers together. Sangye Jedan Soge Chonam Lai Jangjo Bardo Dane Gyapson Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Tolai Benjere Sangye Dobara Sho Sangye Chedan Soge Chonam Lai Jangjo Bardo Dane Gyapson Che Dagi Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Tolai Benjere Sangye Dobara Sho Sangye Chedan Soge Chonam Lai Jangjo Bardo Dane Gyapson Che Dagi Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dolai Benjere Sangye Drupara Sho Sangye Chedan Soge Chonam Lai Jangjo Bardo Dane Gyapson Che Dagi Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dolai Benjere Sangye Drupara Sho Semje Damje Dewa Dan Deve Gyudan Dembara Gyurche Dungan dan dungan ge gyodan dawar gyoje dungan meben dawan damba dan mindral war gyoje ngiren jada ngidan drave dan yon jembo la nebar gyoje semje damje dawan dan deve gyodan dembara gyoje Dungan dan dungan ge gyodan dawar gyoje dungan meben dawan damba dan mindral war gyoje ngiren jada ngidan drave dan yon jembo la nebar gyoje semje damje dawan dan deve gyodan dembara gyoje dungan dan dungan ge gyodan dawar gyoje Dungan meben dawan damba dan mindral war gyoje ngiren jada ngidan drave dan yon jembo la nebar gyoje Balden Zawe Lama Rinpoche Dagi Joro Beme Densho La Gaden Chimbe Bone Jesonde Kuson Toge Ngojo Zando. Okay, so tonight we'll be discussing about the suffering of suffering. So here in this third type of suffering, GAMPOPA wants us to study and know about the suffering of different realms, suffering in different realms. So we do understand that according to Buddhist cosmology, there are three greater worlds, that is like desire realm, form realm of God, and formless realm of God, Kama Dhatu, Rupa Dhatu, and Arupa Dhatu. So within the Kama Dhatu or desire realm, there are also 6 different realms. And these different realms can be categorized into 2, higher realms and lower realms. So in higher realms, there are human realm, demigod realm, and God realm. In lower realm, there are animal realm, hungry ghost realm, and hell realm. So this makes 6 realms within the desire realm. So our our previous karma determines that which of these 6 realms will be taking rebirth to. So it's belong to our previous karma. So see, if you understand this, then you really realize that, oh, it is in my hand. I have all the ability, I have all the rights, and I have all this power where I want to take rebirth. Is on your hand, because it is because of your creations of karma you will be taking rebirths into different realms. So you are the creator of your own karma. So because of your creations of karma, you will be experiencing different realms. So having said that, we now need to determine, and we now need to be diligent in cultivating the good karma, so that we will be able to experience the good result. So therefore, karma plays a very important role in Buddhist studies, because you have choice. The karma it is you that who is creating the karma. And if you create good karma, definitely you will be experiencing the good result of it. Unfortunately, if you are creating the bad karma, then you'll be experiencing the bad consequences. So therefore, it's on our hand. And that's very good news, that we can be protector of ourselves. And that is why we need to understand how karma and karma cause and effect really works. So therefore, that is why GAMPOPA also mentions later in chapter about the importance of karma cause and effect and how this role of karma cause and effect really works. Okay. So in this chapter of suffering, GAMPOPA will make explanations of suffering of different realms, and especially in the hell realms. And sometimes people feel, terrified, or people feel not comfortable to study and hear these teachings. It is actually, obviously, we don't want to hear terrible things. We always want to hear good things. But having said that, if you at least hear once or read once, that will still give you some knowledge about the different types of suffering of samsara. So it is always better to be knowledgeable than to be ignorant. So therefore, at least one time, you just try to listen and concentrate or study the different types of suffering of samsara. Okay, so here the suffering of suffering, GAMPOPA said it can be categorized into two realms, the lower realm and higher realm. So first, the lower realm, hell realm, hungry ghost realm, and animal realm. So we now try to understand what are the sufferings of this being in these different realms experience. Okay, so each of these should be understood through four categories: classifications of different type of suffering, location where they are, type of suffering, what type of suffering they really face, and their lifespan. So as we studied a few days back, that in human we don't have exact lifespan, but in other cases, in other beings in other different realms, they have this fixed lifespan. So therefore, we also need to study what are their lifespans. Okay. So first one, the hell realm. Among the three lower realms, we are now trying to understand the suffering of the hell realm. First, the classifications of hell realm. There are 8 hot realms and 8 cold realms, and one occasional hell and another neighboring hell, which then makes 18 in total. 8 hotter hells and 8 cold hells, one occasional hell and one neighboring hell, which then makes 18 hells in total. And here, GAMPOPA said that many people rush there, which means that most of the time because of our habitual tendency, obviously because of the power of non-virtuous inveterate propensities of our previous life, we become very impulsive. Well, whatever we think, we act without really examining whether that thought is positive or negative. So usually because of our habitual tendency, non-virtuous habitual tendency, we create more non-virtuous karma. And because of that, he says there, everyone rushed there. Everyone rushed to hell realm. So now we need to stop and try to not to rush in hell realm, but instead we try to look for higher realm, and slowly higher realm, then you'll be able to attend teacher, spiritual master, attend dharma, then you can practice dharma, and then you'll be able to liberate yourself, if you are being born as a human realm, in human realm. So therefore we should not rush into hell realm, so we should rush to the higher realm. And among these 6 realms, I think the best one is the human realm, because the GAMPOPA will talk about this later on, but human realm has the best opportunity, because we do experience happiness, temporary happiness, and we also do experience suffering. So because of this, we have a balance. In other different realms, lower realms, they constantly, experience suffering. So they don't have leisure time for them to really think, renounce the samsara, and generate bodhicitta, or develop, cultivate good heart. They don't really have this kind of opportunity. That's why they are considered as one of the 8 unfavorable conditions. So we as a human being, fortunately, we have this quality of 8 lesser, which are free from the 8 unfavorable conditions. So therefore, we need to use this precious human life for the benefit of ourselves and others. We should not waste this human realm, human birth. We should actually take advantage from this. Okay, so the study like this to try to understand the suffering of other realms is also a practice of the Dharma. We are trying to contemplate the suffering of others so that we can distance from these sufferings, and we can generate kind of cultivate concern and loving kindness for those beings who are now experiencing these sufferings in different realms, especially in hell realm. Okay. Okay, now the hot hell, I'll just read this without much explanation. For now, it's just good enough to know that the name of this hell realm, and what are the suffering they experience, and what is their lifespan. Okay, the first one, the hot hell. Where does this located? This is located under this Jambudeva. Jambudeva is the place where we are in now, the earth. So it's under Jambudeva, about the text says 20,000 yojanas below our earth, or Jambudeva. So which means that one yojana is equivalent to 12 to 15 kilometers. So if you just count as a 15 kilometer, then it will be like 300,000 kilometers below our earth. So there's this hot hells. And there are also 8 hot hells. So first, the lowest is the Ibichi, or in English it's called constant suffering hell. And then above that is intense heat hell. And above this is heating hell. And above this is great howling hell. And above that is howling hell. And above that is crushing hell. And above that is black threat hell. And above that, the most top is the reviving hell. So these are the 8 different types of hell. What types of suffering they experience? Okay, it is explained according to their names actually. So reviving hell, what does that mean? That means that in this hell, beings kind of cut each other or kill each other, and then they die. And then the cold breeze or wind comes and touches their body, and then they are reviled again. So they are reviled again, and then again they try to kill or hurt or hit each other, and they die. And then again the air, cold breeze touches their body, and they are reviled again. So this will continue until their lifespan ends. So this is why it is called reviving hell. Okay. Then the second one is black thread hell. What does that mean? That means that there's the black thread in their body. And then wherever there's a black mark, so the karmic flame swords or flaming axes cuts their body into pieces, and they die. And again, same thing happens. The cold breeze air appears from the karma, and then it touches your body, and then you're reviled again. So that's why it is mentioned as here, the black thread hell. And the next is crushing hell, the crush. They are crushed in between 2 mountains or in between 2 iron plates, and then they die. and then same happens, they reviled, and again they are crushed. So it will continues until their lifespan ends. And the next one is howling hell. Howling hell meaning is a kind of, the terrified cries of fear or sound that they make. Because it's so hard, their body has been boiling, or anything that is related to heat, they are experiencing this suffering, so they can't bear it, so they cry aloud. That's why it's named as howling hell. And another next one is great howling hell, which is more intense than the other. Then we have this heating hell. Heating hell meaning beings are tortured by fire and so forth. And molten bronze is poured into their bodies and burns the internal organs of their body. Again, they die, same thing happens, they revive again, and it will happen continuously until their lifespan ends. The next one is intense heating hell, which is beings are tortured even more than the previous one. So molten bronze and so forth are burns their bodies, enter the interior and having only skin left. And all these flames, after boiling their body, all these flames appears from their 9 different passages. So 9 different passages, 2 eyes, 2 ear, 2 nostril, 1 mouth, anus, and the urethra. So these are the 9 passages where the flames will pass. So again, they will be reviled by the touch of the cold breeze, and then they will experience the same suffering. And then we have this constant suffering hell, and that means that there is a blazing metal house, size of 20,000 yojanas in height and length, and your body will be put into that bronze kettle, and then your body will be like cooked in a burning molten bronze and copper. So therefore you experience all this suffering of heat, and then same thing happens, you continue, and then until your lifespan ends. So by understanding these different types of hell, we really generate concern for them, we really feel compassionate for them, and then we really pray that may these beings in this experiencing this kind of suffering in hot hell be liberated soon, and may they achieve precious human life, so then they can attend spiritual master and listen to the instructions of the Dharma and practice the Dharma, and then free themselves from the suffering of samsara. So you need to generate bodhicitta, loving kindness and compassion. Usually when we dedicate marriage or we try to generate bodhicitta or cultivate good heart, it is very hard to cultivate compassion because we have not experienced so much suffering, or we have not witnessed so much suffering of other beings. Because of precious human life, we're okay, everything is provided, good education, shelter, food, clothing are all good enough. Actually, it's good enough. But if you are greedy, that's a different story. We can fulfill our need, but we cannot fulfill our greed. That's a saying there. So if you look from the very general perspective, not so greedy, then everything is good enough in human realm. But if you are greedy, then that's a different story. So compare with us with the beings in hell realm. So we really need to develop loving kindness and compassion for them. And also we need to pray, and we need to aware not to create any cause of karma which will bring us to experience this kind of suffering in hell realm. So this is the lesson what we need to get. One good lesson, not to repeat the same karmic cause which will give results to suffering of hell realm. Second is to generate bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion for those who are now experiencing this kind of different sufferings in different hell realms. Okay? Now the lifespan of these different hot hell realms. What is the lifespan of these beings? So there's this quote from Abhidharma. It says, in reviving and so forth, the six hot hell realms, one day is equivalent to a day in the lifespan of gods of the desire realm. Therefore, their lifespan resembles that of the gods of the desire realm. So in order to understand the lifespan of these 8 different types of hot hells, we first need to understand the 6 different types of gods in desire realm. In desire realm, we now know that there are 6 realms, right? So, and first is the god realm, second is demigod, third is human, and then animal realm, hungry ghost realm, and hell realm. So within the first god realm, there are still subdivisions of 6 gods in desire realm. So what are they? I'll just read out the names. The first one, which is known as 4 great king or 4 guiding kings, heaven of 4 guiding kings. Second is heaven of 33 king or 33. And third one is free from combat god or free from fighting god, which are free from fighting. Then we have joyous realm god, and then we have enjoying emanation god, and then finally we have controlling others emanation god. So these are known as 6 different types of desire realm, god in desire realm. So in order to understand the lifespan of the 8 hot realms, we first need to understand these 6 different type of gods in desire realm. So how to understand the lifespan? Then we need to understand that first god within the 6 gods of desire realm, the first god is known as the 4 guidance king. So the lifespan of 4 guiding king, or in other words, the whole life of 4 guiding king is equivalent to 1 day of the reviving hell. So it's too long, right? So 30 days of that will be a month, and 12 months will be of year. So then the beings in this reviving hell has to, live until 500 years of their year, not human's year, not God's year, but hell's, the reviving hell's year, which means that 1 day of reviving hells is equivalent to the whole lifespan of 4 guidance king. Don't mention our human yet. So if you calculate this and understand what is the lifespan of this according to human year, then it will be like, so I don't know how to count this, so I'll just read the figures out. It will be like 162, and you put 10 zeros behind that. So that long year according to human realm. Okay, so we understand this. So next, similarly, the lifespan of the second god, heaven of 33, is equivalent to 1 day of the black thread hell, and 30 days makes 1 month, 12 months makes 1 year. So with the count of the black threads here, they have to live up to 1,000 years of their year. And if you try to convert that into human year, it would be like 1, 2, 9, 6, and put 10 zeros below that. Just to know this. Then next is the lifespan of crushing hell. So in order to know the lifespan of crushing hell, you first need to understand the lifespan of combat god is equivalent to 1 day of the crushing hell. So with that, again, same multiplication. So they will need to live for 2,000 years of their year, hell's year, the crushing hell's year. So which then it makes equivalent to human years will be 103, 68, 10 zeros. Very long time. I don't know how to count. You can try at your home. Anyway. And then next is the lifespan of howling hell. they need to experience 4,000 years. In the same manner, first the lifespan of the joyous realm god is equivalent to the 1 day of the howling hell. So same calculation, they need to live for 4,000 years. And if you want to equivalent that to human year, it would be 8294410 zeros. So that much long year. And the next is the lifespan of great howling hell. And in order to understand that, we need to understand the lifespan of enjoying emanation gods equivalents to 1 day of this great howling hell. And in the same manner, 30 days, 1 month, 12 months makes 1 year. So they need to experience 8,000 years of there, which equivalents human year 66355 zeros. So that long year, the great howling god. The great howling hell. That's their lifespan. And the next is the lifespan of the heating hell. So in order to understand the lifespan of heating hell, we first need to understand the god again. Go back to the one of the 6 god realm of the desire realm. Controlling others emanation god. The lifespan of controlling others emanation god is equivalent to 1 day of the heating hells. And then in the same manner, 30 days makes 1 month, 12 months makes 1 year. So they need to experience like 16,000 years there, which is equivalent to human year of 530841610 zeros, that long year. And then lifespan of those in the intense heating hell is 1/8 of a kalpa. Usually one kalpa is equivalent to 4.32 billion years. So 1/8 of the kalpa. And then finally the constant suffering hell is 1/4 kalpa. So these are the lifespans. So their lifespans are actually fixed and mentioned, whereas ours are not. Maximum hour is, as GAMPOPA mentioned earlier, limitless, and minimum is 10th year, right? So we are now in the age of 100 years. So our also lifespan of human will decrease up to 10th year, slowly. So this is according to Buddhist cosmology, especially mentioned in Abhidharma. So it's good to know. And then you can generate bodhicitta, loving kindness and compassion for those beings who are experiencing this kind of enormous suffering for enormous time length. Okay. The next is neighboring hell. Why it is called neighboring hell is because they are located in the 4 directions around the 8 hells. So they are the neighbors of 8 hells. So therefore it's called neighboring hell. So we will not go much about this neighboring hell. So I'll just read a quote from Abhidharma saying 16 additional surround the 8 in the 4 directions. The burning ashes, the rotten corpse swamped, the road filled with razors and so forth, and the boiling river. So these are known as some of the hells in or under neighboring hell, neighboring the 8 different hells, hot hells. Okay. Now next is a little bit of clarification there. So the one who is taking care of hell realm, the guidance, the staff, the staff in hell realm who are torturing you or who are cooking us, who are setting flame, all these beings, are they human or not? So there's a little bit of discussion. The guidance of the hell realms, the Yamas, Yamaraja, the king of hell, Yamas in human form, and the ravens with iron beaks and so forth, sort of half man, half human, half animal, all these stuffs or retinues of the yamas, are they sentient being or not? So they have different point of view from different schools of Buddhists. The first one, Vaibhashika school says that they are sentient beings, and others, Sautarandika school says they are not sentient beings. So different school have different belief. The Yogacharya school and the lineage of Marpa and Milarepa, we say that they manifest in the minds of sentient beings by power of those beings' evil deeds. They are not really sentient beings as existent, but they are manifestations of people's, evil deeds. So when you do something bad, you can see, someone's torturing you. It's a kind of karmic appearances, not real sentient being there, but they are like karmic appearances. So this is what Yogacharya school and Middle Way school, especially our lineage, Marpa, Milarepa, they all, their point of view for this is that they are not real sentient being, but they are the manifestations of our evil deeds. Okay, so this is one thing that we need to understand it. As it said in the Bodhisattva, engaging in the contact of Bodhisattva, who intentionally created all the weapons for this in hell. Those flaming eggs and bronze, molten bronze and all these things that we just heard of. Are they, who create these things, who created that burning iron ground? From where did all the fires in the hell ensue? The sage has said that all such things are an evil mind. So it's just a manifestations of our evil mind. They don't really exist there, but because of our involvement in our evil deeds, creations of evil karma, because of that we see they appear as the manifestations of our evil deeds. So that's all about 8 different types of hot hell and the neighboring hell. Okay, we don't want to go more detail, but just their name and lifespan and what are the experiences they face. That's good enough for now. Next one is the another 8 cold hells. So this one, there are 8 different types of cold hell again, namely, so I'll just read out those names: blister hell, bursting blister hell, shivering and teeth chattering hell, achu hell, strong lamentation hell, upala hell, patma hell, and mahapatma hell. So these are named according to their experiences of suffering. Since it's very cold there, so some are labeled as blister, and some are like bursting blister, or some are like making a sound of cold, shivering, or teeth chattering, or achu, or strong lamentation of the cold. And some are like breaking their bodies, since it's frozen and it's too cold and frozen, so they break their body into different petal, like example of the lotus petal, padma petal, and mahapatma petal. So in different pieces. So these are the label, with why do we label them as that way, according to their experiences of suffering. Okay, so we just read this out first. So we know that there are 8 different types of cold here as well. Where are these hells located? Below the Jambudeva, next to Great Hot Hells. So about 300,000 kilometers below the Jambudeva, next to Hot Hells. What type of suffering do they experience? Their suffering correspond to their names, as I mentioned earlier. So in the first 2, which is like blister hell and bursting blister hell, beings suffer such intolerable cold that the blisters cover their entire body. That's why they are known as blister hell. In the second one, it is so cold, much colder than blister, so the blister bursts, breaks down. And these two are the names given referring to the changing of their physical conditions. First blister, then it breaks, bursting blister, because of very, very cold. And the next, shivering and teeth chattering hell, achu hell, or strong lamentation hell. And these are named according to the sound that they make because of experiencing unbearable or intolerable cold. So therefore, shivering and teeth chattering. So when you really, when you go to snow mountains in winter, if you have not enough clothes, you really, shivering, and you can make this sound. You can chattering your teeth, and then if it's still colder than that, we make the sound, lamentation, or more like that. Shivering, even can't speak and talk. So this kind of feeling of cold, unbearable and intolerable cold that they've experienced. So when you hear these things, you really need to, make concern for them and really pray that these beings in this cold realm be, overcome the suffering and then liberate from the suffering of these cold realms as well. And the knowledge that we need to get after studying this is that you should not apply the cause for this kind of suffering. You should be careful and not to, engage in the cause of karma for such suffering to be experienced in the future. And next, Upala hell, Padma hell, and Mahapadma hell. It is related with their skin color and how it breaks into different pieces. So, so Upala hell, what happened there? Beings in this hell, cold hell, Upala hell, their skin turns blue and cracks into 5 or 6 pieces like Upala flower petals. Likewise, the Padma hell, in the Padma hell, what happens is that their skin turns into blue, or from blue to red. The skin color from blue to turn into red, and the body cracks into 10 or more pieces like lotus petals. And the last cold hell, Mahapadma hell, what happens there is that the color turns to darker red, and the body cracks into 100 or more pieces like a petal of great lotus. And these three refers to changing of the physical condition, again from color from blue to red, red to darker red, and how it breaks their body or cracks their body into first 5 to 6 pieces, then to 9 to 10 pieces, more than 10 pieces, then to 100 pieces. So because of unbearable and intolerable cold. So when you hear this, you can really think that you can really, you shouldn't really complain about our cold and hot. Usually we complain, when the winter comes, we complain a lot, but compared with them, our winter cold is nothing. And compared with hot hells, our summer heat is nothing. Our maximum heat will be like 40 to 45 temperatures. But still people die, with this kind of temperature. But there, if you understand the suffering of heat in hot hell, it is unbelievable. So therefore, we need to generate loving kindness for them and compassion for them. So these are the 8 different types of cold hell. Now, what is their lifespan? So lifespan of cold hell is even greater. So we can't count the number of years. So therefore, Buddha has mentioned, kind of example. He has given an example. So I'll read this example out. The exalted one Buddha explains only through this example. Monks, for example, suppose that in this Magadha kingdom, this place where Buddha was there, Magadha kingdom, there were a storehouse, storage, with an 80 bushel capacity that was filled with mustard seeds. So suppose you have a storehouse which is the capacity, which can hold like 60 bushel of the mustard seeds. And someone removes one seed, not every day, not every week, not every month, not every year, but every 100 years. If someone removes just one mustard seed every 100 years, once in every 100 years. Monks, in this way, completely emptying the mustard storehouse in Magadha, which holds 80 bushels, is much faster than the reaching the end of the lifespan of the sentient beings who are born in blister hell. Immeasurable, unthinkable. So, which means like great time of year that they need to suffer. So then we need to generate more compassion for them. How long they suffers. For us, we can't bear even like 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. But for them, it's enormous years of lifetime that they have to bear these sufferings. So likewise, Buddha said here, monks live in the bursting blister hell last 20 times longer than the blister hell, and so forth. So others, you have to multiply by 20 each time. Monks, the cracked like a great lotus hell is 20 times longer than the cracked like a lotus hell. So to make it short, Abhidharma says, every 100 years, take one mustard seed from the storehouse. At the end, one lifespan of the blister hell will have passed. The others are multiplied 20 times, by 20 times. Therefore, the lifespan of this cold hell is, unmeasurable, very hard to measure, very hard to count. So therefore, we need to generate again. I repeat the same thing, to have concern and compassion for those who are being born in this realm. And then the last hell is the occasional hell. The occasional hell, there can be many beings gathered together, one or two, as is created by individual's karma. So this we cannot really say how many beings are there, how many types of occasional hells are there. There may be few, there may be one, there may be more. There are many diverse type of this hell, and their locations are also indefinite. We don't really know where they are. Some are in the river, some are in the mountain, some are in the field. We don't know where they really live. So that's why it is also labeled as occasional hell. We don't really know the definite location of this hell, and we also don't know their lifespan. Their lifespan is also indefinite. We don't really know or understand their lifespan, but they are occasionally appearing according to individual's karma. Okay, so these are the explanations of the suffering of sentient beings in hell realm. So among the 6 realms within the desire realm, we try to understand the suffering of hell realm. So there are 16, 8 hot and 8 cold, 16 hells, and in addition to that, 1 neighboring hell and 1 occasional hell. And we also try to understand their lifespan, how many type of classifications of hell realms are there, and what suffering they really experience. So this why GAMPOPA mentioned here, this with the more detail about these sufferings in hell realm, is to alert us, is to tell us that you should not be wasting your time in the creations of non-virtuous act. So if you keep creating non-virtuous karma, then you may experience this kind of sufferings in the future. And second thing is also to generate or cultivate good heart, loving kindness and compassion for these individuals who are really experiencing this enormous type of suffering in this hell realm. Okay? This is what his message is, for us to recollect their suffering and be compassionate for them, and also to imagine that how that would be if you also are being born in this one of this hell realm and experience all these sufferings. In human also, we can actually imagine their suffering in our realm as well. For example, if you go to the desert, say if you lost your friend, you don't have food, and you are because of the heat and the heat storm, and you really kind of encounter this kind of suffering of heat, where there's no water with you, there's no water at all, and you are in the desert with no houses, no trees, nothing. So you have to imagine sometimes like that, when you are in this situation, how hard it would be, with the heat, sun, no water, thirst, and couldn't tolerate this kind of heat. So it's more or less like experiencing the hot hell. And for the cold hell, you can also imagine yourself that you are in the snow mountain or in Alaska, where again you lost your friend, you have nothing with you, not enough clothes with you, and suddenly there comes this snowstorm, and you can't bear the pressure of snowstorm, and then you're about to die with the pressure of cold there. So at that time, if you imagine like that kind of situation where you are now, you can really feel the pain of the beings in cold health. So therefore, whenever you have experience, whenever in your life, if you experience such encounter in such a situation, and try to imagine the suffering of realms in hot or cold hell, and thereafter you need to recollect suffering and take them as a cause, as the cause for your renunciation. And by this, what happens is that it will release your attachment to the pleasure of samsara. Having said that, we'll leave here for tonight, and we try to understand more about more suffering in different realms. Okay, it's all about suffering, but it's always very good to know about this, be knowledgeable about this suffering, than the staying under the delusion and compulsion state of mind. Okay, so thank you for listening, and we shall dedicate our merits for the well-being of all sentient beings. So nam de tamje sekba nye topne nye be danam pamje ne gega na je bala troba ye seben solen trowa trowa sho. touch the leg. Now we start reciting mantras and aspiration prayers for subside coronavirus. Firstly, we take refuge and generate a bodhicitta. Therefore, we do visualization. They visualize that in front of you at the sky, there are your Guru and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, countless of them in front of you. Then with your faith, devotion, to take refuge and generate bodhicitta. Repeat. Sanje chedan zoge chonam la jan joy barado dane jazoje daige jenso jebes namge Drola benje sanje to pararajo sanje chedan soge jonam la janjo baraedo endane jazo Daige jinso jibis namge Dola benjire sanje to bararajo. For immeasurable, when we chant this 3 times for immeasurable, they think of the meanings. Sende tam jente wa dan deve ju dan den barara juru je dunga dan dunga ge ju dan da warai juru je dunga me bin de wa dan ba dan me de
Now we meditate on giving and taking meditations. Giving means we give our love, our happiness to others. Take means we taking their pain and the cause of the pain. First of all, you have to know that the love means what? Love means that sincere, without any expectation, just to wish that person to be happy. Then that is a love. So what is a compassion? Compassion means that without any expectation, that just wish that beings are free from the suffering, free from the pain and the cause of the pain. Then that's what love and compassion. The give means we're giving our love. And compassion. Take means they are giving love and compassion, and take means they are suffering, and because of suffering we are taking. Therefore, this meditation apply with your breathing. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. First, you have to breathe in. That time, you visualize that all the mother sentient beings are in front of you. They are all suffering. See, all the beings are, including ourselves, all beings. What we want is a happiness. What we don't want is a suffering. But our mind is deluded. We don't know exactly how do we get the happiness, how to free from the sufferings. We don't know. Therefore, we have to give our love and compassion. That's it. We apply with our breathing. Okay, breathe in time. You visualize that all the mother sentient beings, their sufferings, their pains, and the cause of the pain is their ignorance, attachments, the hatred or angers. Those are the cause of sufferings. You visualize their cause of suffering, and the pains are come out from their body, the form of the black smoke. You breathe in with your breathing, then they are free from the suffering and the cause of the suffering. When breathe in, then you go into your body, there you visualize that at your heart there's small fire. This fire will burn off all that they are suffering, and the cause of suffering are burned off, then they are just vanish. When we breathe out, that them from your body, then your virtues, your merits, your happiness, all come out from your body with your breathing, form of white smoke. They all go to them and dissolve into them. Then they are all receive the happiness. Then the cause of happiness, they all have in love and compassion. Then they are forever stay in love and compassion and happiness. Now we recite our Lokiteshvara's mantra. Therefore, you visualize and stilly yourself. This impure body is instantly transformed into the pure body of Avalokiteshvara. The Avalokiteshvara is a bodhisattva called the four-arm Avalokiteshvara. You are sitting on lotus and moon cushion. Your form is, we call it Sambhogakaya, form of the Buddha. Then you have ornaments, jewel crown on the head, then earrings, 3 layers of a necklace, and lower part of your body is a very long skirt, colorful long skirt. The upper body you are wearing a colorful sheet. Then you are ornament that have arm bangle, hand bangle, and wrist bangles. Then your color is white in color. Then you are very youthful looking, like 16 years old. Then your eye is open, looking to all the beings with the love and compassion. The same thing, all the beings are the same as Avalokiteshvara. Then your body is not solid form, it's transparent. Then your mouth chant the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. That mantra is the essence of all the Dharma. Then your mind is transformed, not ordinary mind. That mind is love and compassion. Then your place is not ordinary place. This place is pure land of the Avalokiteshvara. Then chant the mantra, mention that chanting mantra together, all the beings. Your mind is focused, visualization, and recite the mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Recite mantra, 1 round of a mala. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Mane beme ho 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 mane beme ho. Now we recite long life Buddha's mantra, the Buddha Amitayu's mantra. Now you visualize that the Buddha Amitabha, Buddha Amitayu is above your head on the lotus and the moon cushion. He is also Sambhogakaya form of Buddha. So one face, two hands, red in color, and wearing all the ornaments, same as the Avalokiteshvara. From your heart, radiate light. This light go up and dissolve into his heart. That requests him to give us the blessings and energy of the universe and the essence of the four elements to prolong for our life. Then radiate light from his body. This light go to 10 directions. This light will collect all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas blessings, and also they collect the energy, positive energy of the universe, then essence of the elements, four elements, all come the form of multiple color and dissolve into his long life vase that he's holding the long life vase, going to the long life vase. Then nectar flow from the long life vase. This nectar come into your crown. They go to porta and the body and fill up your body. You imagine that you receive all the Buddha's Bodhisattva's blessing and the positive energy of the universe and the essence of the elements. Then prolong your life, increase your energy. Then your body is radiant light, brighter. With this visualization, then we chant mantra. At the same time, faith, devotion to the Amitabha Buddha. Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurjana Subhinitita Tesorajaya Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambaro Bajete Om Sararava Samkara Pareshute Dharamate Gagana Samongate Sobhavan Vishute Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayugyana Sabini Siddhate Chorajaya Tathagataya Arahati Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambaro Bhajete Om Sararava Samkara Pareshurte Dharamate Gagana Samongate Sobhava Vishute Mahanaye Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayugyana Sabini Siddhate Rajaya Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambaro Bhajete Om Sarava Sankara Pareshute Dharmate Gangana Samongate Sobhava Vishute Mahanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayurjana Sabini Siddhate Chorajaya Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Mahapune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambaro Bhajete Om Sararva Samkara Pareshute Dharmate Gangana Samongate Sobhava Vishute Hanaya Parivare Soha Om Namo Bhagavate Aparimita Ayugyana Sabini Siddhate Chorajaya Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Teyata Om Pune Pune Aparimita Pune Aparimita Pune Jnana Sambaro Bhajete Om Sarava Samkara Pareshute Dharmate Gagana Samongate Sobhava Vishute Mahanaya Parivare Soha. How you recite medicine Buddha's mantra? There's a long mantra and a short mantra. We recite both 7 times. Therefore, you visualize that from your heart, already light, this light go to the medicine Buddha's pure light. This light dissolves into his heart that requires him to give us the blessings to purify our sickness. and other obscurations. Then his radiate light from his body. From then his nectar flow from his body, from the begging bowl. Nectar flow from the begging bowl. The nectar going into your body, and all the beings, all the mother sentient beings, into the crown in the body. Then purify all the obscurations, all the pains are purified. The nectar fill up your body. You are imagine that you receive blessings from the medicine Buddha and free from the pain and free from the sufferings. Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bendroya Prabharadaya Tathagataya Arahate Samya Sambuddhaya Te Yata Bekanje Bekanje Maha Bekanje Raja Samungate Sowa Om Namo Bhagavate Bekanje Guru Bendroya Prabharadaya Tathagataya Padmashavali mantra, that Padmashavali deity is in front of you in the sky. The nectar flow from his body. The nectar go into your crown in the body and purify all the obscuration, then especially all the sickness are purified. The nectar fill up your body. They mention that you are receive the blessing and free from the negative energy. Om Pishati Parana Shavare Sararava Tora Prashamani Soha. Om Pishati Parana Shavare Sararava Tora Prashamani Soha. Om Pishati Parana Shavare Saravayandora 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 Prashamani Soha. Dorje Namjum mantra. Visualize the Dorje Namjum deity is in front of you. The nectar flow from his body, going through your crown and the body, and purify all the obscurations, then especially your pain or the sickness are purified. Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tista Deta Banda Banda Hana Hana Amrete Humbe Nama Tendra Benza Kroda Holo Holo Tita Dista Banda Banda Hana Hana Amrete Humbe Nama Tenda Benda Kroda Holoi Holoi Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrete Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holoi Holoi Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrete Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holoi Holoi Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrete Humbe Nama Tenda Benza Kroda Holoi Holoi Tita Tita Benda Benda Hana Hana Amrete Humbe Nama Tenda visualize magic deity in front of you. Nectar flow from his body, go into your crown and purify your obscurations, all the pains, sickness, all the disease, all purify. Om Purra Kumma Now you visualize that medicine Buddha, 8 medicine Buddha in front of you at the sky and surrounded by other 16 bodhisattvas, and all the medicine deities are there, countless of them there. Then we pray with the faith and devotion that Christ to give us the purification, then blessings. Oi deshe bai me lai che dai jan jai sen bai chen bai joi do ge me jon toi je chen le lai te ne do Samangate soha te ya tai omoen bekanje maha bekanje raja samangate soha te ya tai omoen bekanje Mahabekante Ransa Samongate Soha Deyata Omoim Bekante Mahabekante Ransa Samongate Soha Deyata Omoim Bekante Mahabekante Raja Samangate Soha Deyata Omoim Bekante Mahabekante Samangate soha te atom bekanje Mahabekante Raja Samangate this one. Raja Samangate Sohai Senche Nebai Jineba Nyordo Nele Tajroi Tove Nene Maleba Tato Juma Eme Barare Sem ye me deve nange jide kan so jo wara ma juro je je tara she me che be se ja she ke che la le se de je be so cho ne ge do ngai je ye ba je de kan so jo wa ra ma ju ru je chi da xin je kai nai je ba da ne ge mi zang perim soike lije gun la ne parai jururuji ne begere ton tanje juda yendo son jai doi loi doi jui dang shi jia za xi ne lai sui ba yi li ji gen lai ce wa ra ma ju lu ji li sim de wa ma le to ji be jun xie tu be du nga lai ji ni ba ma le xie xie dai du de ba da ci ne men de ji de ba ju la mai con cho so ge tu ji da kan do che jong so me ni tu da len de lo wa me pe de to ji ngo wa mo la ma ta che du para ju. Repeat page 4. Le dan lo bro ken le jong wa yi den da ne da jong bo che wa su sen je ye mi de ve ne na ma ge ji de kan so jung wa ra ma ju ji je tra she me te be se ja shi ge je la le san de ji be so cho ne ge do nga je ni ba ji de kan so ju wa ma ju ru ji qi da xin ji hai nai zi bai da ra ne ge min zam te be zha ji be nin ji bai da dai be rin so ge li jie ge lai ne bai mai ju ru ji ne be ge re don tan je ju da lo bu ro ye do sum ja do ju da xi jiao zai xi ne lai so ba ye li jin ge lai ce wa ra ye ma ju ji li sen de wa ma li to 中西出北都安吉尼巴马里西西当多点巴当七零年明的吉定巴拉拉说。Lama Koncho Songe Tu Jedan Kando Che Jong Som Me Ni Tu Dan Lende Lo Wa Me Ben Den Do Je 我我们拉玛达真多巴拉拉雷修。Again, repeat page 4. 来当罗巴拉伊根来就罗巴伊，等当内当中不会再外手，心间也面对为难受。 chỉ tiếng khăn soi chung vara hare mai juroi ji chỉ tarai she me chiai pe se ja shi ki chi la le samai de re ji pe so thon ne ge do nga ji ni ba ji de kham so ju wa ma ju ru ru ji chi da xin ji khai na ji ba tra Nege min zamai te be tai je be nin je bai da tai be ren so ge le je kun la ne para ma ju ne gere ton tan je chu da lo bro ye do sun ja do chu da shi ja za shi ne la so ba ye li jin ken la se wa ra ma ju ji li sim de wa ma le to ji be jun she to be du nga ji ni ba ma le shi xin dan to de ba dan che ren ne min de ji de ba ra re jo la ma ko cho su ma ge to ji dan 看着却中双面女对，连的罗哇没白的多吉，我们拉满大这 Yamaho Ngwantre Sanje Nawa Taye Da Yesu Joy Toje Chembo Da Yendo Semba Toje Tonam La Sanje Janse Bame Koje Go Teje Matra Pato Me Ba Yin Dewa Chinse Jave Shingantre Dane Dene Sebo Jurmata Kewa Shinge Barama Chebaro Dero Kene Nante Shedon Sho Dige Dage Melamanta Pati Chocho Sanje Jansen Tamje Gemen Dobra Jinge Lapso Dea Tai Panza Dia Awa Boda Na Yeso Hai Chode Jawai Se Gong Chonyi Zola Jera Dage Tizan Gesa Bai Kanjoy Son La Chebabo Jalawe Tembai Pejroji Gewa Senje Kenlango Token Sanje Tojroji Geza Tamje Jidode Daye Jula Minjroji Tinye Dane Tozote Tere Neme Nyamto Pai Tere Saju Nanjoji Namshe Sefo Jurumanta Dewa Chendo Jejoje Kene Teme Kaje De Lude De La Sanje Sho Jangcho Tome Jese Do Dobe Doa De Barare Sho. Now dedicate from beginningless until now, whatever we have accumulated merits, virtues, I share with all the beings. By these merits, all sentient beings free from the sickness, free from the sufferings, free from the samsaras, obtain enlightenment. Oh, yes, Nandi, Thank you.